The first season of Good Omens was a delight. Based on the 1990 novel by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, Good Omens, The Nice and Accurate Prophecies of Agnes Nutter, Witch, it featured a storyline where the angel Aziraphale and the demon Crowley have to sabotage the coming end times, and it created an instant fandom, including many who had never read a Pratchett or Gaiman book before. Doctor Who fans, for example, already predisposed to quirky British TV with leanings towards the fantastic, and curious to see David Tennant acting in something else, were instantly taken with proceedings. Pratchett and Gaiman fans, far from rolling their eyes and saying, "We know," were delighted to see so many new converts to the then 29-year-old novel. And while many assumed a second season of the show was a no-brainer, Neil Gaiman was always very circumspect in responding to such assumptions. First, the series would have to be liked, really liked by the audience for Amazon to want to make more of it. Fair enough. Second, there was no second novel to base it on. Third, Terry Pratchett died in 2015. As time went by, however, it was clear that Amazon was interested in making more, and Gaiman did have the memories of discussing a possible sequel with Pratchett before the first book had even seen print that he could potentially make into a new series for the streamer. And here we are. I've just watched the 6 episodes of Good Omens 2, and yeah, some mild spoilers ahead, naturally. So, first up, I'll say I enjoyed this. It's cliche to say in the wake of multiple series of Staged and the first season of Good Omens, but David Tennant and Michael Sheen are a great double act. Their interactions are effortless and fun. They're great to watch as our two leads in this show. They could just stand there and read the phone book to one another. So we've got two stunning leads, and a script which, in many episodes, features flashbacks to earlier in their lives and collaborations with one another which, as short vignettes, can tell a fun little story without any real setup, and they serve to pad out the episodes in general. So far, so good. But then we get to the actual storyline of the piece, and, well, it's a bit weak. Archangel Gabriel, played by one of my all-time favourite modern actors in the form of John Hamm, returns from Season 1, but this time he's naked and with no memory. What's happened to him? Why is he like this? There's a bit of detective work in one episode with Sheen heading up to Scotland to investigate why a jukebox keeps creating the same 7-inch disc no matter what's supposed to be in it, and a lead that Gabriel has been in a pub meeting with someone. Maybe the Masons are involved. But all of this goes nowhere over the first 5 episodes until quickly being sewn up in the 6th episode, and, well, it's not actually that interesting an idea, if I'm brutally honest. A B-plot with 2 women and a potential romance is also pretty uninteresting, especially as one of the women has a partner, albeit a pretty controlling one, as we are shown over and over and over again, because controlling partners are bad, don't you know? And even when she doesn't have a partner, as they do split up, she's not really interested in having another relationship. Thankfully, that storyline doesn't end up with them magically together, but still makes you feel like, okay, great, we've just spent 6 episodes with 2 people who don't really seem to be a match and they aren't getting together. It just feels so very pointless, in addition to that A-plot, which wasn't much either. And look, sure, when the first season was about the literal apocalypse, a second season was probably always going to suffer on the story front. It would seem to be why Pratchett and Gaiman never really pushed ahead with anything in novel form back in the day, as they really didn't have something truly great in hand, and it's only really a slavering modern audience of that first season who are demanding more, no matter what, that forced this story into the light of day. What we get in the 6 episodes of Good Omens 2 is more of a character piece. The overall story isn't great, but the interactions between all of the characters and the world building of the little area in London where Sheen is just one of many local shopkeepers, and the whole look of the piece is something that will have fanfic writers engaged with for years to come. It feels like a real place with real characters. It's just a shame the story isn't all there for them to engage with. I know saying all of this may upset, even offend some people, and that's a shame because, as I said earlier, I enjoyed this. I really did. I never felt my time was being wasted. I never felt like turning off. So, on the did you like it scale, I'm right there with many of you. But if you ask me to put this side by side with the first season, it's absolutely night and day in terms of the story. In other areas, like the acting, the direction, the look of the thing, all of that is fine. Even if we are missing things like the narration from God that we had in the first season, and it is clear they did a lot less location filming on this one too. So, Good Omens 2. Not much of a story, but an absolutely fine way to spend time with characters we like. The million-dollar question now is whether it gets a third season, or whether the downbeat ending here is going to be it. What I find interesting is the potential of the third season, of the second coming, and how Tennant and Sheen would end up collaborating again, and how that would happen in-universe. That could create a much more interesting story than this one was, where 5 out of the 6 episodes were essentially, hey, John Hamm has amnesia and is wandering around our bookshop, not knowing how to be human. Isn't that a laugh? So, although I don't think this season worked as well as it could have, I think a third season has the potential to be quite alright, if not great. Anyway, what did you think of Good Omens 2? Why not let me know down below in the comments?